Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultan of Oman television. First, the headlines. Europe reassures Iran of commitment to the 2015 nuclear deal without the United States. Cleric Muqtada al-Sadr's bloc wins the Iraq election. And 3 survivors of the Cuba plane crash are in hospital with critical injuries. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of condolences to President Miguel Diaz-Canel, the President of the Council of State and Ministers of the Republic of Cuba, on the victims of passenger plane crash near Havana International Airport. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Paul Biya, President of Cameroon, on his country's National Day. The European Union's energy chief has tried to reassure Iran today that the bloc remain committed to salvaging a nuclear deal with Tehran, despite the US President Donald Trump's decision to exit the accord and reimpose sanctions. The European Commissioner for Energy and Climate, Miguel Arias-Cañete, delivered the message during a visit to Tehran and also said the 28-nation EU, once the biggest importer of Iranian oil, hoped to boost trade with Iran. He said they will try to intensify their flow of trade that has been very positive for the Iranian economy. Iran's nuclear chief, Ali Akbar Salehi, said his country hoped the EU would manage to salvage the 2015 deal, in which Tehran agreed to curb its nuclear program in return for the lifting of most Western sanctions. A political bloc led by populist cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, a longtime adversary of the United States, who also opposes Iranian influence in Iraq, has won the country's parliamentary election. The Electoral Commission said today that Sadr himself cannot become prime minister because he did not run in the election, though his bloc's victory puts him in a position to have a strong say in negotiations. His electoral list captured 54 parliamentary seats. The Victory Alliance, headed by incumbent Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi, trailed in 3rd place with 42 seats behind the bloc, which won 47 seats. The results were announced a week after Iraqis voted in a nationwide election, which produced surprising results aimed at historically low turnout. Medical professionals worked to save 3 survivors in grave conditions today after an aging Boeing 737 with 110 people aboard crashed and burned shortly after taking off from Havana's airport, leaving investigators shifting through debris for clues as to what caused the airliner to go down. It was Cuba's worst aviation disaster in 3 decades and its 3rd major air accident since 2010. Skies were overcast and rainy at the airport at the time of yesterday's disaster, and Cuban state television said the 39-year-old jet veered sharply to the right after departing on a domestic flight. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel said a special commission has been formed to find the cause of the crash. The plane had 104 mainly Cuban passengers and 6 crew members. State airline Cubana operated the flight. Cubana Flight 972 went down just after noon, a short distance from the end of the runway at Jose Martini International Airport. Several bombs exploded nearly simultaneously at a cricket match in Afghanistan's eastern Nangarhar province, killing at least 8 people. The attack happened as hundreds of spectators gathered for a nighttime tournament in the provincial capital of Jalalabad during the holy month of Ramadan. An official said 45 wounded victims and 8 bodies were brought to the hospital from the sports stadium late yesterday. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack, but both Taliban insurgents and the Daesh group are active in eastern Afghanistan, especially in Nangarhar province. Prince Harry told the Archbishop of Canterbury today he would take Meghan Markle to be his wife at a glittering display of royal pageantry that supporters hope will inject a measure of modern Hollywood glamour into the 1,000-year-old monarchy. "I will," Harry answered when asked by Justin Welby, the leader of the Anglican Communion, if he would take Markle to be his wife, to love her, comfort her, honour her and protect her. The moment drew laughs from the congregation as the crowd outside cheered. The royal newlyweds took a short trip through Windsor in a horse-drawn carriage to the delight of thousands of well-wishers. The couple, now known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, travelled through Minster in a royal carriage before looping back to Windsor Castle for their reception. Tens of thousands of people are in Windsor in the hope of catching a glimpse of the couple. Still to come in our news bulletin. Auctioning palm dates season highlights a number of social values and traditions. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. A report published by the Italian widespread newspaper stated that the Sultanate of Oman is one of the most peaceful and secure countries in the Middle East region and considered this country as a unique case in the context of security in the region and around the world. The report also mentioned that the Sultanate became the fastest developing country in the field of human resources during the period from 1970, when His Majesty the Sultan Qaboos bin Said came to rule, to 2010, according to the survey conducted by United Nations. The Italian newspaper recommends Sultanate of Oman as tourism destination due to unique environmental and diverse culture. Rustak Hospital organized an awareness exhibition on kidney disease as an initiative to combat the local and international increase in the number of cases. The exhibition included demonstrations on dialysis, kidney disease, the available treatments and medications in Oman. The organizers conducted on-site checkups and health consultancy services for visitors. The visitors were advised to conduct routine checkups, lead a healthy and hygienic lifestyle, and mind their diet to avoid further kidney problems. More than 153,700 commercial activities were recorded in the Sultanate during the fourth quarter of 2017. The statistics issued by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry pointed out that the commercial activity in the same period was centred in the Governorate of Muscat, by 39% of the total volume of such activities in the country. It was followed by the Governorate of North Batna by 15% and Dhofar by 10.7%. Private deposits at commercial banks in the Sultanate as of the end of February 2018 reached around 12,548 million Omani riyals, compared to 12,448 million riyals in the same period in 2017. The Central Bank of Oman, CBO, pointed out that the total value of those deposits were represented in terms, savings and demand deposits. According to CBO, the banking indices of commercial banks showed that the total cash and clearance for those deposits reached around 11,532 million Omani riyals. The Sultanate's total crude oil and condensates production during April 2018 stood at more than 29.32 million barrels. The monthly published report, published by the Ministry of Oil and Gas, said that the total quantities of the exported crude oil stood at around 26 million barrels. China's import of the Omani exported crude oil reached 78%, comprising a remarkable rise of 3% compared to the month of March 2018. The season of auctioning palm dates highlights a number of Omani social values and traditions. At the beginning of the summer, citizens wait for the auctioning season to purchase their needs of famous and high-quality date palms and the tree's products. The Wilaya of Mutabi already started the auctioning season of the year. Sellers, buyers, and all who want to benefit from the palm dates assemble near the palm trees to enter into bidding their prices. While the bidding progresses, a final price is fixed, and it goes for a citizen whose price was the highest will pay the amount in cash, and the auctioneers record that in a special list. Auction prices are controlled by a special criteria according to the quality of the fruit, the age of the palm tree, and its height, which are all to be taken into consideration before the auctioning. Here are the Ramadan times for tomorrow. Fajr prayer at 3:59 a.m. and Maghrib prayers at 6:49 p.m. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low cloud and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Sarsarkia, Dhofar and Worcester. Winds will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 metre. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Europe reassures Iran of commitment to the 2015 nuclear deal without the United States. Cleric Muqtada al-Sadr's bloc wins the Iraq election. And 3 survivors of the Cuba plane crash are in hospital with critical injuries. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsrooms and the studio, it's good night.